Thank you Best Buy for sponsoring today's video.
1, 2, 3, 3. Yo, jam, bro. So yeah, no cinematic this week because I've been sort of playing Call of Duty. But I'm not the only one. Okay, Andres, I got you. Oh, hey, yo, focus on the game. Okay, I'll see you guys on Sunday's video. Dude, John, do you think people watch your cinematics?
I don't think so, man. I think they're just here for the tech, man, honestly.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Maybe the Porsche.
Maybe.
The new 2022 LG G2 OLED, a fantastic piece of hardware that's been delivering outstanding image quality with incredible colors, great user experience, and honestly unbelievable aesthetics. I've got the 65-inch gallery edition, which was so easy to mount and gives my living room a look like no other, winning the award for the best LG TV last year and very much winning my heart for the past month. Yeah, I pretty much bought this about a month ago and I've been loving it. It did come broken the first time we got it delivered, but Best Buy did not hesitate to replace it with a new one. Funny enough, I even got them to sponsor this video, which is great. I still paid for my TV though, but Best Buy has some fantastic deals going on. I actually got mine on sale for $1,500 less, and I took advantage of the sale and got a 55-inch LG C2 for the bedroom at also a great price. With Black Friday around the corner, I think Best Buy is your best bet to get your favorite electronics at amazing prices. I'm praying I'll be able to get a second PlayStation 5 soon enough as well. By the way, if you ever find a product at a lower price on the internet, Best Buy will price match it. Also, on my end, the first time we ordered the TV at the store, it took about 2 to 3 business days for the TV to be delivered for an in-store pickup. They honestly have some of the fastest fulfillment options. I vouch for it, especially after I was told my replacement unit will take over a month to deliver. I quickly found out the day later they managed to get LG to ship it to them, and I got it within a couple of days. And don't forget that with their Total Tech membership, you have access to services like wall mounting your TV, protection plans in case something happens to your TV, and exclusive offers on other interesting tech for your new device. I would totally check them out. I'll also leave a link to my TV down below. Now, if you guys are planning on going to buy this at the store, make sure you get it shipped or you have room for it. It's a massive box that measures 65 inches by 38 inches and 6.75 inches. Inside, the first thing you will find is the box containing the wall mount bracket. In here, you will find a few helpful tools like some instructions on how to mount the TV, a guide for the wall to help you out, a cardboard box to help out with the installation, and of course the bracket itself. It does come with these mounting screws, but I personally had to mount it with butterflies due to our walls having metal studs. Before taking the TV out of the box, they do have some proper instructions on how to do so, and I recommend you check those out. Finally, towards the middle of the packaging, you will find the rest of the accessories. This includes some papers related to the warranty, a remote controller with batteries, and the AR blaster cable. Now, when taking the TV out of the box, please don't do it alone. It's a 22.8 kilogram TV. In fact, when we installed this whole thing, we were 3 doing so. It's a bit of a process trying to level things out with a guide, I won't lie about that, but LG were clever enough to include a whole tutorial by scanning their QR code within the instructions of the installation guide. Look, in short, as long as you find your studs, decide whether or not you need butterflies, and make some proper holes, installing this bracket is nothing too complicated, and honestly, if done right, you will feel how sturdy this is. Just don't forget to use the stickers as markers to guide you and the cardboard box to ensure the stand stays in place when mounting the TV. For a clean, minimal look, overall, I do suggest you guys get some wall plates in order to pass wires through the wall. It's really simple. All you need is to saw the drywall to match the back of the plate, do a bit of trial and error to properly fit the plate, and pass the plastic strip the TV box came with. This will eventually help you pass that wire through by attaching the power cable to it. And that's when, well, that day I mounted the TV and I realized that it was broken. But that doesn't change the fact that up to now, my experience with this TV has been fantastic. It of course lives in my living room, and unlike the C2 55-inch in my bedroom, the G2 is the TV I find myself using the most. I love the minimal look it delivers to a room. Every time I come into the condo, I get to see that nice slim panel. The mounting bracket is so minimal that it makes the whole setup almost invisible. Very different to what I have going on in my bedroom. I'm quite glad the G2 is not as thin as the top of the C2 all around, but the fact that the edges and the bezels of this are still crazy thin, it really makes the panel look like it's floating every single time I watch TV. The G2 does have a heatsink in the back. It allows for the TV to reach crazy brightness levels and dissipate heat. Luckily, I haven't particularly found it to warm up the place, like the area above the TV doesn't get ridiculously hot. And look, it's really bright, and don't worry, the new heatsink should avoid any sorts of burning. I absolutely love the panel, but, massive but, OLED glares are absolutely a pain in the you-know-what. The fact that I have this standing next to a window can get annoying during the day. I either have to close my blinds a bit to diminish that glare or just watch TV at night. But when we watch Formula 1 during the day, it's a struggle with the glare, especially with the fact that WebOS doesn't have the F1 TV app. However, luckily, I can AirPlay what I'm watching and it looks just as good. I never suffered from signal dropping, sound delays, or anything like that. It actually works so well that honestly, why even bother making an F1 TV app at this point? I also want to mention that a 65-inch panel should be enough for most people. I really wanted to get a 77, but the difference in size is so big that it wouldn't make sense, especially with the fact that I would need to move the couch further and there's no room for that at all. I think a 65-inch looks perfect even if you have 9-foot ceilings. And so with all this space I've got going on in here, even though it's sort of small, the speakers just don't do it for me. Even with AI Pro, which don't get me wrong, makes it sound way better than stock, I often find myself turning the volume all the way to like 65, then it eventually gets too loud, and then other times it gets too quiet. These inbuilt firing down speakers, even though they are the best inbuilt speakers on a TV, they are okay. If you're willing to pay this much for a panel, I suggest you get a soundbar or proper speakers. I'm just here waiting for mine. If you do end up getting one, know that there are plenty of ports to install whatever you need. There are some inputs that are side facing and down facing. So on the side, you'll find a couple of HDMI ports, one being the one dedicated for the soundbar next to a USB port that complements the other two USB ports facing down and two more HDMI ports next to it. There's also a LAN port, an optical digital audio out, two antenna ports, and the IR blaster connection. The fact they point down and also have a cable management feature makes this LG the perfect TV for minimal looks. The only thing I hate is that mounting these TVs to the wall is a bit of a pain since the power cable cannot be removed, so fetching it through the hole must be done at the same time as you are mounting it. Luckily, it's not too heavy, mainly since the back panel is made out of a thin layer of plastic. Don't get it twisted though, it looks so freaking good, and they were smart enough to leave a gap between the frame of the panel and the back panel, allowing you to install a light strip if you wish to do so. Oh, and should I keep the PlayStation 5 here or get an Xbox? Let me know down below. So, the OLED panel. I love it. It's really hard to complain about this panel. This whole screen is very much enclosed within these thin bezels and this very tiny slight silver outline. It really doesn't bother me at all, cause the brightness and the colors this OLED screen emits are just insane. This delivers a 3840 by 2160 resolution with all of those HDMI ports supplying up to 120 Hz. The colors and the contrast the TV can deliver along the brightness is fantastic. I recommend you watch shows with Dolby Atmos because you truly get to experience the cinematic masterpiece of most shows. I watched The Watcher on Netflix within 2 days and I just enjoyed the cinematography so much more. It's a show that gets super bright and super dark from one second to the other, and when that happens at night, you truly get to enjoy the power this TV delivers. The dynamic range is absolutely amazing. It displays true blacks, perfect highlights, great shadows. It really does deliver a super pleasant experience. And note how I said at night, when watching these type of shows during the day next to a window, it's absolutely horrible. It's very hard to see. You see, the glare an OLED panel produces is annoying. The best thing you can do is to avoid putting it next to a window. Even with its tinted glass, especially within dark scenes, it's still very reflective. Plus, I have a few windows directly on the opposite side of the TV, so it makes it even harder. The only way for me to sort of truly enjoy content during the day is to close most of my curtains. I just really need a curtain in the back. At least the viewing angles are great, and I've noticed it mainly because when we cook, we watch TV. The image is still as clear as if you were watching TV dead center. So if you have a massive couch or you have people sitting towards the sides, don't worry, the picture will be as clear as day. Gaming, I honestly haven't done much of it at all. I don't even own a console in my new home, but I brought the PS5 I have in the office, and man oh man am I missing out. I really need to get a second console in here, and to be honest, I think this TV will be used for story mode games. Multiplayer and fun times with the boys can be done on my custom PC, but if I want to enjoy PlayStation 5 exclusives and Xbox exclusives, it's here with this TV. Basically, this is the best TV you can pair with a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X. With its crazy variable refresh rates and its HDMI ports capable of 48 gigabits per second, games truly feel immersive, especially games like Spider-Man. The colors, the motion blur, the VRR, everything makes sense. Just know that if VRR is enabled, you cannot use OLED motion. That feature also dims your TV quite a bit. I also gave the new Call of Duty a try on this TV, and that 120 refresh rate is extraordinary. If you are not sure whether or not you're running high refresh rates, just press the green button on the remote control repeatedly. Or if you press the settings button on your remote, you will also see that in the game optimizer menu. That's a menu that very much still delivers info about the frame rate, VRR, your black stabilizer, and your low latency feature. You can of course open up the menu and very much tweak a bunch of other things. It really is a TV that is absolutely great for gaming. Now, if gaming is not something you want to do with it, don't worry. The quick shortcut for settings also delivers a bunch of features you can tweak. First of all, it has a very easy quick menu to play with. You can find all sorts of things here you can quickly access and tweak. But if you need more flexibility and customization, you can just head to the entire menu. You have really cool picture modes like Vivid, Standard, Cinema Home, Cinema Optimizer, and Filmmaker mode. But for content without Dolby Vision, I find myself using the ISF Expert Brightness. It's the one that looks the most cinematic and it's the brighter one. I don't really tweak anything else within the menu, but you can definitely play with the brightness, the tones, sharpness, and a bunch of other cool things to really make this TV look the way you want it. On top of all of this, it also has a whole sound menu, a general menu, and a support menu, things I honestly barely use. The only thing I do suggest as soon as you get a TV like this is always update your TV prior using it for the first time and turn off the energy saving mode to have complete control over your picture. I also recommend you set up Google Home if you have one. All you need to do is to create an LG account, connect it to the LG app, and within the Google Home app, just link your TV to your home. Works like a charm. You can control it via voice command, and that includes things like turning it on or off, control the volume, mute it, and so on. I very much recommend you play with it. Automating it can be pretty cool. Lastly, my WebOS experience has been fine. TV softwares are always on the slow side, but it's been okay so far. Netflix does bug from time to time, and the UI is not always the smoothest, but it's been the best I've seen on a TV. When it works, it's still snappy and responsive as you navigate through the menus. Plus, as a whole, it really does have a good amount of apps like Fubo TV, Disney, Apple TV, and others. It's a good menu and it does the job. For me, this is honestly the best TV I've ever owned. Honestly, if it was a car, this would be like the GT3 RS of TVs. For those who don't know anything about cars, just know that as a whole, it's one of the best cars you can get for the money. I'm a super happy owner, and my biggest complaint is mostly my fault. I can't expect to put an OLED panel close to a window and not get any glares. I love the minimal style, the bracket it came with, the way the installation process goes. Everything in my opinion is just perfect. It's very much a TV that unlocks the ability to enjoy gaming and enjoy cinematography. For the price, if you can get one of these on sales like I did, don't hesitate. You will not regret it. This here has been my LG G2 TV experience. I hope you've enjoyed. I'm out.